In the grand amphitheater of the Galactic Concord, laughter echoed like thunder across the stars. Thousands of delegates scaled feathered Cationus and crystalline filled the floating tiers of the council's spire on Alindra Prime, a world of eternal light. They had gathered to witness what they thought would be a farce: humanity's entry into the galactic stage. At the center of the chamber, the holographic display flickered to life, projecting the feed from deep space. A single human vessel was entering the system, and it was tiny. "By the suns," hissed the Threxan ambassador, his mandibles clacking with amusement. "That thing wouldn't last 5 seconds against a patrol frigate." The laughter grew louder. "Is this how they announce themselves to the stars?" mocked Vorkel, the imperial representative of the Zorath Empire. His scaled tail lashed the floor. "A single ship, a toy. I've seen mining drones larger than that." Even the normally composed members of the Alindri collective, known for their wisdom, murmured in disbelief. Humanity, late to the galactic scene, and considered a minor civilization from a forgotten corner of the spiral. Had just sent one ship to attend the Concord Summit, the same summit where fleets of other empires had arrived with armadas of warships, escorts, and diplomatic cruisers that could blot out suns. One ship. The galaxy jeered. Inside that single ship, the HSS Resolute Captain Alina Drake stood motionless on the bridge. The vessel hummed quietly around her, the air filled with the sound of precision machinery. To an outsider, it was small. To those who built it, it was the culmination of every desperate century of human struggle, every war, every collapse, every rebirth. The Resolute was unlike any ship in the known galaxy. Its engines did not burn plasma or antimatter. Its hull was not forged from titanium or jewel. It was made from a weave of self-healing nanomatter, alive and reactive, shifting color and texture with every pulse of light. And buried deep within its heart pulsed something no alien civilization had ever harnessed: a quantum singularity core, a controlled fragment of space-time itself. "Captain," said Lieutenant Aaron Patel, breaking the silence. "Transmission from the council. They're requesting we identify ourselves." Elena smirked. "Requesting, or demanding?" He hesitated. "The tone leans heavily toward mocking," she sighed. "Of course it does. Open channel." The holographic emitter came alive, projecting the faces of the council's high delegates. Their gazes were filled with amusement, disdain, and something close to pity. "This is Admiral Vorkal of the Zoroth Empire," one of them announced, his voice dripping with superiority. "You have entered restricted diplomatic space with a single ship. State your intent before we assume it is ... accidental." "This is Captain Alina Drake of the United Terran Fleet," she replied calmly. "We are here as representatives of humanity, as per Concord invitation." That drew laughter, genuine cruel laughter. "You brought one ship," hissed a "Do humans misunderstand the meaning of a fleet?" Elena's jaw tightened, but her voice stayed even. "One is all we need." The council chamber erupted again, this time in open mockery. "Arrogant primitives," someone shouted. "Do you plan to conquer us with your what? Do you call it nuclear sticks?" Admiral Vorkal leaned forward. "Captain, you stand before civilizations that have ruled the stars for millennia. Do you have any idea how absurd this looks? You send one ship into a galaxy of empires." Alina smiled faintly. "Then perhaps, Admiral, the galaxy needs a reminder that quantity does not equal strength." And with that, she ended the transmission. The laughter didn't last long. Moments later, every sensor in the Alindra system screamed. The orbital defense grid registered a gravitational anomaly, something so dense, so massive, that space-time itself rippled around the Resolute. In the council spire, alarms blared as data streams flooded the displays. "What is this reading?" shouted one technician. "It's bending the gravitational field of the entire sector." "It's impossible," cried another. "That ship shouldn't have that kind of mass." Then the lights dimmed. And from the Resolute's hull, a shimmer spread like starlight caught in liquid. The ship's surface unfolded, shifting and expanding. Its true shape began to reveal itself. Panels unsealed, nanostructures reassembled, and what had once been a small corvette expanded into something vast and terrifying, a battleship of impossible architecture, a vessel seemingly woven out of the fabric of the void itself. The Resolute wasn't small, it had been folded. Now unfolded, it dwarfed even the Zoroth capital ships. The council's laughter died. What are we seeing?" whispered Geltor of the Alindri, a technician stammered. "The ship's surface area just increased by a factor of 4,000, its internal volume by 7 million. It's impossible." No one noticed that the Resolute's weapon systems hadn't powered up. They didn't need to. The mere distortion of its presence bent light around it, warping the stars. The humans had built something that ignored the limits of known physics, something the galaxy had declared impossible. Inside the ship, Alina Drake stood on the bridge as the vessel settled into its full form. "Status?" she asked. "Stable," Arun said, his voice trembling. "All systems nominal. External sensors show multiple fleets locking weapons on us." Let them, Elena replied. A voice came over the comms Admiral Vorkal, but now his tone was different. There was no mockery, only fear. Human vessel, he said slowly. You will stand down and explain the nature of your ship. Elena smiled. It's called the Resolute. Humanity built it after you erased our colony at Vega 9. After you called us a species unfit for the stars. You wanted proof of our weakness. You'll find none today. The channel went silent. And then dozens of warships opened fire. Beams of energy, plasma bolts, rail slugs all converging on the Resolute. The space around the ship rippled like water struck by a stone. The attacks vanished, swallowed by the distortion. Then light burst outward from the Resolute's core. The gravitational field around it inverted. The enemy fleets found their own weapons turning back upon them. Trajectories bending under space-time distortion. Ships imploded. Hulls screamed as their structures crumpled under invisible weight. The entire Indra defense fleet, over 100 ships, was gone in 45 seconds. The galaxy had jeered. Now, it stared in horror on the council floor. Chaos reigned. Stop it. Shut it down. Evacuate the system. But the humans did not continue the attack. Instead, the Resolute transmitted one final signal. A calm female voice echoed across every frequency. This is Captain Elena Drake of the United Terran Fleet. We came not to conquer but to remind you that humanity endures. You laughed at our weakness, but weakness forged our strength. You mocked our solitude, but solitude taught us unity. You feared what we might become. Now you understand why. We built one ship because one was enough. And then, as quietly as it had arrived, the Resolute vanished into folded space. For weeks, the galaxy was silent. Empires that had ruled for millennia turned their weapons inward, terrified of what else humanity might have hidden. The Council ordered an emergency summit, but no one came. No one wanted to draw the attention of the species that had just rewritten the laws of physics. In the void between stars, the Resolute drifted peacefully. Elena stood before the view, watching distant suns rise and fade. Arun approached quietly. They'll never underestimate us again. No, Elena said softly. Now they'll remember us every time they look at the stars. He hesitated. Captain, what happens when they come for us? She smiled faintly. Then we remind them again. The hum of the Resolute's engines deepened, and the ship slipped once more into folded space, leaving behind nothing but a whisper, the sound of a galaxy that had learned to fear its own laughter.